Hello, Rebecca McLaughlin here, author of Nameless Queen, Degenerate Knife Thrower, Indoor Cat for the Duration of COVID-19, and a writer who is currently actively avoiding revising her second book. But here's what the plan was. The plan was do a video talking about how to revise a book, which is what I've been doing on and off for the past week, months, time. But that would be disingenuous because of the 7 days of the week, I work on my revisions for like 4 of them. I'm currently working remotely for my day job, so there's kind of like blurry boundaries between working at home for my day job and working at home for my author job. I know in a previous video I mentioned the importance of boundaries between those two things. I'm not awesome at it, but I wanted to talk a teeny tiny bit about what issue I'm having, because it's not like I don't have a plan. I planned out the revisions with my freelance editor, so it should just be a question of executing on those changes. Yes? No. Apparently not. And for those of you worried that I'm throwing a knife around, there is a sheath on this sucker. It's not like I would sit here and throw it for real. That would be silly. The issue that I've been having with revisions, and I wouldn't call it an issue because like I do still like get into the file and I do still work on it just very slowly. I worked on it for several hours yesterday and I got like a page. Stop playing with the knives. I got a bunch of new knives recently. This is one of the new ones I got. It's super cool. I feel like someone in my book now has to have one of these. The problem is that it's set in like contemporary Midwestern America, not like a medieval knife slinging time, so I don't know what to do about that. It's like a mustache. Okay, so obviously one of the issues is that I get distracted very easily. With the revisions comes some rewriting. Now it's pretty easy to read through something and fix minor issues as they come up, but sometimes when I'm looking at a page and I know I need to rewrite a transition or a chapter opener, I kind of just freeze and then close the laptop. I open the laptop, I look at the page, I close the laptop. It's like there's a block there that just says, oh, you want to do something new? Nah, don't do that. And instead of following my own advice, which is to skip forward, work on something else, go backwards and work on something else, find a different way to tackle the problem, I just kind of give up. And don't get me wrong, I fully support the act of giving up when it's appropriate. When you're writing a book that's under contract, that is not the time to give up. You have to see the coolest knife that I got. It's the weirdest one, and it's the one I'm most likely to cut myself on. It's a knife that doesn't have a side edge. It opens like this way, which is not how pocket knives normally open, but that means that it has to open like up toward my fingers. It's very not good. See, it's so scary. I should just leave it open forever, but it's very, very cool. It's kind of got like a little bit of a steampunk vibe going on. I'm not gonna make the camera focus on that. It seems like a lot of work. Pretty easy to close, terrifying to open. Oh, let's make that a metaphor. This is not intentional. Metaphor, execution, go. Revisions, when I get stuck on them, is like opening a scary knife. I think it's going to be painful or hard, and so I'm afraid to start. Even though the only way I can get comfortable opening and closing the knife working on revisions is by doing it a bunch of times. I can be careful and cautious the first time if I want to. I can dip my toe into revisions, try a few things out, but at some point I have to get comfortable with them so that I can continue to do them. That was on purpose, I promise. It's a lie. So it's really hard to not take. It's really annoying when you as a person don't take your own advice that you give other people. And so yesterday, I had been staring at my computer for a while at a single paragraph, not working on it, not wanting to move away from it because I knew I had to get through it at some point. And I eventually did take a piece of my own advice. The advice I took was to come at the problem a different way. I figured, hey, I need to write something new. What do I normally do when I'm drafting as opposed to revising? Because I'm trying to come at this with a revision brain, but I'm not technically revising something, I'm writing something new. So part of revision can be rewriting or writing from scratch, depending on what you're working on. And so I had to just shake up my brain a little and try a different approach. So I went with my good and favorite classic, read it out loud, or say it out loud. And I can either record it and type it later, or I can just read it to myself and then continue reading out loud even though there's nothing there. This really helps me get past something because then I'm talking, literally talking through the problem instead of just staring at the page. And spoiler, when you have a staring contest with an inanimate object, such as a blank page that taunts you, you will always lose. Now, a couple weeks ago, I went outside in the nice, beautiful 60-degree weather, which is over, as you can see. Cut to snow. It's snowy outside again. Welcome to the Northern Hemisphere. We here in Michigan are latitudinally challenged. Also, we as a globe are climate challenged, but let's not get political. It's not politics, it's science. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, reeling myself back in. Wow. When I was last in warm weather, I took my notebook outside and I wrote some things, and I ended up putting most of that into my book. And so yesterday and today, I kind of hit a similar roadblock and I didn't know what to do. And as I mentioned, I read the 2 sentences that I had managed to write over the course of a whole entire hour, and then I just kept talking it through. I didn't get a lot done. It was pretty late in the evening, and I've had a migraine on and off the past couple days, but I did eventually get a page done. Most of it was new writing, some of it was revision, moving things around, making them fit. And even though there's so many more pages to go, like 20 per chapter approximately, I made good progress, I guess. Okay, it's really hard to stay positive and cheery when you're like, I have so much to do and I'm not getting a lot of it done. But celebrate the successes when you have them, even if they feel small, because if you have boring, dull, unproductive stretches, such as when you're in a COVID quarantine pandemic and you're feeling uninspired and unmotivated to work. I just got a message from someone in my writing friends group, and last Saturday we spent all day doing writing sprints on and off, kind of like a writer's retreat, but remote. It was amazing and wonderful, and I got so much done. And I've done very little since then, and I just saw a note from someone else who said that they haven't done anything since last Saturday, so I'm not alone! Amazing! Again, celebrate those successes when you have them, and commiserate with others when you can as well. So, long story short, if you get stuck, try, following your own advice, the advice of others, instead of just getting stuck in a rut. Chapter 11, I shall defeat you. Although to be fair, chapter 10 is the one where I did a lot of rewriting. Although to be fair, I have to do a lot of rewriting in chapter 11 too. It's really just a transition because I changed where chapter 10 ended, so now I have to re-transition into where chapter 11 picks up. But the remainder, I think like the second half of chapter 11 is not too bad. Oh, unless they go to the place that they're not going to go to anymore. Duh, revisions! Okay. Obviously, I have a lot to get done. I am excited to keep working on my second book. I do wish I would work faster, but also cutting myself some slack because, pandemic stuff, etc. But I'm still trying to hold myself to a high standard, so I'm gonna get some writing done today. We're doing another remote session this evening, and tomorrow, on Saturday, the day this comes out, I think we're doing another day of sprints, which I'm really excited for. Being accountable and with others who are also being accountable and with others is a great motivational tool, and it adds a sense of community and camaraderie to, again, an otherwise isolated, alone activity. That was a bunch of chaos, but unfortunately chaos is my current state by default. So I appreciate you tuning in. Here's a video YouTube thinks you like, and here's my most recent upload. I put out videos about every Saturday about the chaos of writing, being an author, etc. So again, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Bye! Now I get to put away all the knives.